let's score the administration for a second. We said we'd do this, and I think these are the 5 years in, these are the 3 biggest issues we have to tackle right now. We've set this up with expectations. So look, we're a conservative show. We're telling you right now, we don't think the president's done a very good job. But which has he done the worst job on, and which one do we think is the biggest political liability? That's what we're looking at. We're gauging it by expectations. Obamacare, did it meet, go below, or is it a disaster based on the expectations the president set? Will, what do you think about this one?
Well, you know, I'm sorry to have to do a little nuance for you on this one, but it's somewhere between below and disaster, because we've talked about before that you have to concentrate on the parts of Obamacare that are working and those that are not. The part that is working is that people are being kicked off their insurance. That was specifically part of the program to force people into the Obamacare exchanges. So no matter how unhappy we are, that's actually somewhere like meeting expectations. It was intended. But the fact that they can't sign up for Obamacare because the website doesn't work pushes you towards disaster. Landing somewhere between below and disaster.
I would agree.
They're meeting that it was intended, but that's not how it was sold to the American people.
That's a fact.
So I think it depends on how you frame it.
I would agree, and you know, we've talked to our friend Will. I think you're correct in putting. I would have put it here too, because as Ben has talked to us before, Ben Domish at this table, we're at DEFCON 2 for healthcare failure. We're not quite at DEFCON 1, all-out nuclear war. That would be the destruction of the individual market and essentially either single payer or rewrite the whole thing, which could still happen. But then I'd put it at the full-on disaster level.
Again, I think destruction of the individual market was intended, but their replacement value isn't there yet.
I guess we have
to
we have to specify whose expectations.
Whose expectations?
Right. The American people's expectations or Democrat or left-wing expectations. What about the economy? Tara, I want to toss this one to you.
Well, let's just say that the little social experiment for people who want to get rid of their white guilt and give this novice a try, this is what he's produced here with the economy. The labor participation rate is the lowest it's been since 1978.
Can you throw a chart up while you're discussing this?
Yeah,
go
for it.
On that one.
The labor participation rate's the lowest it's been since 1978 when Jimmy Carter was president, another train wreck. We've got more people on welfare in 2011 that had full-time jobs. There were 108 million people on means-tested welfare programs and only 101 million people with full-time work. That's not a great number. We've got 86 to 90 million people not working in this country, record numbers on food stamps. This is a disgrace.
All right, give me the grade. Where are we? Met expectations, below expectations, and let's just be clear. I don't mean left-wing expectations. I mean national expectations.
I would say that it's below, because if it were disastrous, he never would have gotten reelected. And he shouldn't have.
I think that's fair. All right, my man Pete Hegseth, Captain Pete. What do you think about this one? Global status.
Global status. Well, we're leading from behind. Our enemies are emboldened, and our friends wonder whether we have their back or not, and it seems that Mr. Putin won the matchup of the reset button. So I'm not sure how you'd see it as anything other than a disaster, maybe disaster plus. It's not quite, you know, DEFCON 1 as you described, but you know, from the Iraq War saying, hey, we're out of there, doesn't matter how it finishes, to the Afghan War surging and telling the enemy when you're going to leave, to sitting down with the Ayatollahs in Iran, believing we're going to get rid of a bomb, but it's not going to happen. We talked about Putin, Benghazi,
Pete, I would offer you that
Syria, Libya.
Until about 2 months ago, I would have maybe even put it sort of here. You know, he's a very left-wing guy.
Yeah.
But with Syria, with Putin, with what we've seen with the NSA,
It's plummeted so quickly.
I think it's a fair case to be made.